Story 1. I started inviting people from online dating sites who said they were looking for friends to play Dungeons and Dragons. Some of them were actually looking for friends. I also started a fencing group in my area and advertised it in relevant Facebook groups. A few people showed up, and now we occasionally do things that aren't fencing related. Story 2. You see someone doing something you do, like to do, or are curious about. Hit them with a compliment and then a follow-up question. I met some of my best friends because I liked the cologne they were wearing. Edit. Thank you for all the comments. Story 3. The closest I have gotten to making new friends is through 1. My kids' sports, just hanging with the other parents or coaching teams. I don't consider any of them to be friends, but we enjoy hanging out and chatting at games. Once sports are over, I'll never see them again, but if I run into them randomly, I'm sure we'll chat for a minute. Solid acquaintances. Video games, just having a regular group of people in a server is nice. I play a racing game, and the others are typically from other countries, but text chat is fun and at least an interaction with people I don't live with. If I really wanted friends, I'd probably have to go back in time and do a better job keeping in touch with my old group of buddies. Edit. Yes, I agree it's usually never too late, but when you literally don't even know what to say or talk about with an old friend who was a very good friend, and you are hoping that you can just talk about their kids' sports, I think it is pretty late. But this happens to millions of people, it's normal, and I don't dwell or recommend anyone else dwell on it. My parents, in their mid-70s, moved into a 55-plus housing community, and they've made acquaintances with neighbors, play cards, and visit for a drink on occasion, so maybe it gets easier later. And I'm not really sad about not having friends. I'm a bit to myself and enjoy short, earnest conversations with the many people I've gotten to know. Story 4. You stand too close to random people at the grocery store, and when they ask you what your problem is, you tell them you don't have any friends. Then you hug it out and become friends. Story 5. The friends that I have made in adulthood were not made through boozy social situations, even though I'm Irish and we love our boozy socials. I've made friends through work and hobbies. I love taking fun classes. I like taking dance classes mostly, and when you're going to the same class week in, week out, you get talking to the other people at the class and friendships can blossom. You can be friendly and smiley and strike up a bit of conversation, and from that, you build up a bit of rapport. I made friends by asking a couple of the girls if they'd like to grab a coffee after class, and then it became a weekly thing, coffee after class. It doesn't have to be dance. Any kind of class works, even if it's an educational one. Evening classes are a great place to make new friends. Then, and I know everyone's workplace is different, certainly mine is very easy to make friends. Through work you can make some nice friends. Sit with people at lunch hour instead of eating at your desk or in your car. Chat to people during the workday and find out things about them, if they have a family, if they have any hobbies, etc. Then, when you build up a bit of friendliness, ask them if they'd like to go for lunch or, yes, I know, again, a coffee after work and so forth. It definitely helps to be friendly and outgoing. I'm not naturally outgoing, but I am naturally a very friendly person, so I guess that makes me approachable. So try to be approachable and learn the art of small, friendly talk. Story 6. Hobbies. Thank you for the comments and awards, but please consider donating to charity instead. Hobbies alone are a broad statement. Basically, the goal is to meet new people. Seek discomfort is a good phrase and a good model for how to meet new people. Search for their YouTube channel. Hobbies can be good, but it's hard to find small groups that have no internet presence. Volunteering and charity work, for example, are more aimed at helping others while you benefit from socializing. This is my anecdote. Others may differ. Connections in activities like fishing and hunting often come from making connections by door knocking, leaving letters, and asking for permission. Over time, you can build a collection of properties to visit for hunting and fishing while offering to help maintain their property in return. You might also ask if they would like you to take someone from their family with you or bring a friend along after trust is established. Lastly, it's okay to be alone. I'm alone but not lonely. I have Reddit to come and socialize with you all. It's okay to have just a few friends you genuinely connect with. The key aspect of friendship is respect. If they don't respect your time or you as a person, then they aren't truly your friend. Note, the YouTube channel is not Seek Discomfort. That's their catchphrase. It is Yes Theory. Story 7. go to a repeating class at a gym or yoga studio, or volunteer at a yoga studio or gym class. Get a part-time job or volunteer somewhere interesting to you and meet coworkers over time, like a museum, community center, library, foreign language school, or cultural center. I know it's hard. I also don't drink. I've missed out on many friendships and several relationships with people I felt naturally compatible with because of it. It's a real bonding part of social life for the apparently large majority of society. Story 8. In my experience, adults don't want friends. They want activity partners. Pick an activity that you enjoy doing and find some people to do it with. If you're lucky, some friendships will organically arise from that. If you're really lucky, they'll even stay friends with you after one or both of you stop doing that activity. But mostly, people just want activity partners. Story 9. My turn to shine since I moved countries 3 times as an adult. Ranked from most effective to least. Asterisk work. Never eat lunch alone. Organize hangouts after work. Asterisk professional networking organizations. Nothing bonds more than hating your industry or job together. Asterisk going out alone and chatting up strangers. I'm a woman and have befriended men who approached me this way. So don't say this won't work for men. You just have to genuinely want to be friends instead of being a creep. If you have kids and they have kids, they'll want to be friends. Asterisk online forums. If someone in a niche forum you're into happens to mention they live in your city, just say, "Hey, I live there too. Want to meet up?" The more niche the forum, the higher chance of making friends. Asterisk random fun classes or activities. If you're both into it, you probably will click. Asterisk online dating. Surprisingly made many good friends from this. Of course, some were with benefits. Asterisk new mom groups. Everyone is depressed to a certain degree, sleep deprived, and desperate for support. Asterisk social media. Made a few genuine friends, also got some creeps, so it's a gamble. Story 10-1. Be passionate about things that add substance to your life. You don't need a lot of friends. When you talk to people, strangers, coworkers, and so on, be your 100% genuine self. This should help you avoid being a doormat. If you find you're still a doormat, you should revisit step 1. My best friend and I really only share a couple of things. Our love of gangster rap and 90s hardcore punk, and our beliefs in undying, over-the-top self-empowerment. That's not exactly something I hear people talking about at parties. Oh yeah, on my way over I was bumping some music and yelling at myself in the rear view. Look at what you've done with your life, how far you've come. Keep going, crush the opposition, let's go. Like I said, be your 100% genuine self. Story 11. Climbing, archery, martial arts, European martial arts, historical reenactment, book and theater clubs. I wonder, is there a platonic dating app yet? Tinder, Grindr, Planter? Copyright trademark March 26, 2021. Story 12. Adults don't care if you drink. Many adults do enjoy drinking, but actual adults don't really care if you just want to hang out. I'm in my 30s. I do drink. My wife doesn't. Here's the thing in your 30s. You all go to a brewery or someplace like that. Well, not so much lately. And the whole group will always have a few people not drinking for any or all of the following reasons. Driving, pregnant, on a prescription that makes it inadvisable. Don't feel like it. Don't like what's available. Personal reasons. And generally, no one cares if they're a mature group worth hanging out with. Here's the question to ask. Do you mean that you only want to hang out in situations where people aren't drinking? That's a different thing and a bit more limiting. But seriously, mature adults deal with all sorts of reasons people won't drink. This isn't college. No one thinks your coolness is derived from drinking excessively. The only people I've ever seen ostracized from a group of adults are people who are unpleasant, most frequently because they drank way too much. And honestly, in college, no one worth hanging out with cared either. Story 13. I'm going to add a very specific one. The app Slowly. It's an app that acts like a meeting app, except that everything works as if you were sending real letters. You can receive them from all over the world, and 99% of people use it to make friends rather than looking for a partner like most meeting apps. You enter your hobbies and maybe include the countries, gender, and age of the people you want to talk to. I left it open and received beautiful letters from older people wanting to talk to someone. And there you go. I have met my two best friends there, one from Germany and one from Brazil, and we've been talking for years now. It's too much work for scammers, so everyone is genuine. I cannot recommend it enough. Story 14. Volunteer. Get engaged with a cause. Do whatever you do. Feed the homeless. Start a community garden. Combine your passions and skills for positive impact. Organize events to support your community. Be a part of the world wherever your heart is. Story 15. As many others have said, hobbies are important. For me, it has been Dungeons and Dragons or other role-playing games. The part that builds friendships for any hobby is the 3 hours each week of socialization, preferably in person, COVID-19 safety aside. For me, it has worked in 2 different cities and has taken up to a year each time before we started trying to connect and hang out outside the group. The people you connect best with long-term may not be the ones you assumed you would connect with when you first joined the group. Story 16. This is so true. For all the people saying join a sports team, while that can be generally true, it's not possible in many places right now due to COVID restrictions and overlooks the fact that almost inevitably sports social events end up involving lots of drinking. Story 17. Very carefully if you don't want to end up as their designated driver. I can't even go to family events without being asked by distant family members to drive them around. Half don't even know my name, but they all know what's her face that doesn't drink. Some even have the audacity to stop me on the way in to instruct me not to leave without them, so leaving early isn't straightforward. I have found night classes to be the best way to make adult friends. People from all walks of life attend. Think stained glass making or dog grooming. A great way to meet interesting characters. Also, if you have a local drama society or musical society, I'd recommend joining it. You don't even have to be on stage. Stagehands, set painters, etc. are always welcome. Story 18. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. All you need. It solves many problems that everyone has as an adult. 1. You meet a lot of people, whether in your own club, competitions, or Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu camps. Any relatively big city should have a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu gym so you can meet people anywhere. Keeps you fit. Each training session involves sparring and is similar to a high-intensity interval training workout. Although you still see many examples of typical dad bod veterans who will challenge you. You join a community where you can be a part of for life. It's like a church with traditions, but where everyone is trying to challenge each other in stylish uniforms. This is great for the mind. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu gives you confidence, but at the same time, it is a good ego killer. It seriously teaches discipline, consistency, camaraderie, and for some, it's also a good outlet 2 to 3 times a week. You learn some actual self-defense. Jiu-Jitsu is one of the main martial arts in mixed martial arts. It revolves around grappling and taking opponents to the ground, where striking becomes much less effective. Of course, it's not going to protect you in a group fight or against someone with a knife, but it helps. It gives you something to strive for a very long time or for life. A black belt takes over 10 years. Even if you achieve it, there is still an almost limitless amount of things you can continue to learn and teach. Story 19. I made most of my friends because I started streaming video games. I didn't meet them all from streaming, but as I got to know a few of my regular viewers, we became really good friends. I also became better at recognizing if someone was going to be unfriendly early on, so I became more confident with socializing. I started to meet new people on Reddit and Twitter too. I even met someone in the checkout line at Walmart who seemed like my kind of person, and I made sure to exchange information with them right away.